No, it's, you know, it's pretty tough to.
So, can I just draw your attention to the top of the second page in that document? Because that's the part that, it's in the middle, I'm sorry.
It's in the middle?
It's down there, to Mary Ann Bryan has it.
So those, we would get one of these going
Yeah,
on.
like the Cohen.
This was an information for logging to, as we know, market themselves, like our businesses do. So, just on the top of the second page, firm will begin the transfer process by deciding whether to send you, being the municipality binder, known as an FCC Form 394. So Dan, I would like to know from your office where exactly the cable franchises we're trying to run for the city, and we can figure that out between now and next month. But this has a time frame of 120 days from the receipt of the 394. So we have to do a little homework here about where that 394 is. Does it apply to the city of Kingston? And then we have to respond to it within a certain amount of time. If we decide that we want to have a cable franchise agreement with this new entity, which is formed. So there is real time frame that we need to pay attention here to, and that's why we're discussing this tonight. It's just a discussion, it's just kind of putting us on notice that within this 30 days of the receipt, 120-day time period, we need to figure out if we're going to be responding, if at all.
My understanding is there have been significant communications with regard to this issue with the mayor, and again, he received notice that this was on the agenda at about 3:30, and obviously under those circumstances was not able to get all the information to me. This is one of the options that is being considered, but this is
What is one of the options?
the
This isn't even a done deal yet. But
this
there
is
a
one
time
of
frame.
this is one of the options going forward that is being considered, by the executive branch, along with other options for.
What is the option you're talking about?
Yeah, what options?
Again, we received this at 3:30. My understanding is that there have been meetings with regard to cable services moving forward. Okay, and that those meetings have been taking place, and that given the late notice of this communication, we are not in a position to update you with regard to those communications. Okay, this is a solicitation from a law firm. Okay,
I was going to say, that's
yeah.
odd to see that. They want to represent us, basically. It's like a...
Well, just, I've been through a few of these cable franchise negotiations, just as a reference, okay? I haven't seen the latest one that they signed when that was done, but we need to certainly look at that ourselves, because within it, if a lot of times the language is if the company is acquired, the acquiring company, if they're approved by the FCC, the franchise automatically moves over to them. It's not like a regulation, to say, oh, you cannot operate a cable franchise because you did full-time Warner. Obviously, when a franchise agreement ends, you can renegotiate anything you want at that point. That's what happens. Usually about every 10 years, I believe, right now. Is it 10 years that we usually sign up for these things?
Again, I have.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that's in town of Kingston is in a 10-year agreement right now.
So the
Yeah.
question in
Well,
terms of
I'm
where
saying
the
the
94 goes,
usually
which I think is what Brad's asking.
Right.
Okay, I can't tell you right now because we didn't have any notice that this was going to be on the agenda. Okay, I can certainly let you know.
Well, whether or not we have noticed, Dan, we're now aware of this, and I just want this committee to be aware that this is a situation and a condition out there regarding the cable franchise agreement or the condition of it for the city of Kingston. We need to know about
And what
that.
you just asked me is where does the Form 394 go to, and do we know whether or not it's been received? And what I'm telling you is I can't answer that question because we didn't know this was going to be on the agenda.
So you don't even know if we've received it or
I know
responded to it?
nothing at all about this other than that this communication was received in my office at about 3:30.
Okay, we've established it's a late
I
file.
have a question. This says June 3rd. Where's it been since June 3rd?
That's a good question, because it was just brought to my attention within the past few days.
Well, who brought it to your attention?
President Noble.
So where was it,
You're
so,
talking
it was-
when did he
you're
find out
talking
about
about
it?
the solicitation by law.
He
This is the
was surprised.
solicitation.
He was surprised to learn that it hadn't been put into communications by Carey. That's all I know. That it was out there. That's why I'm putting it on the table now, so that we can start to be aware of it only, and then be ready to respond to it next month. Hopefully Dan will be able to provide some of these options that they've been talking about. This is all news to us, and I think as the Laws and Rules Committee, we need to know about this sort of
Well, we're
business.
not interested in this group, this is just a JAG member.
Just forget about that.
Yeah, because I'm just.
Look at some of these, the federal cable acts, you know, and the dates that they were talking about, and the fact that the municipalities have a right to approve or deny the transfer of the cable franchise. If there's a time sensitivity to it, I want to know about it. I don't know about anybody else in the room, but I'd like to know what position are we in. I'd like to know what the Corporation Council and the Mayor's Office is talking about with this. So we're informed. It's that simple. And then we can decide whether we need to act or not.
See, I'm confused. This doesn't give us a choice because we don't have any choices here in the city of Kingston. It's either direct or Time Warner. So,
Well, I mean, the other thing that has to come up is they actually have to get this merger approved.
Right.
Which, you know, the Comcast deal was shut down.
right.
This
Well-
is a smaller somewhat deal, so maybe it goes through, but they're not real
Well,
positive.
and the other
about
thing is, we
consolidation.
have to know, you know, right now, City of Kingston has this, you know, station 7315. So this has some implications on what kind of public access we will have in place. It's like and Dan can correct me on this, it's like an agreement, it's like a contract. What are they obligated to provide?
That's all in the
Is it-
franchise
is it a-
agreement.
is it this- Yes, that's what I'm getting at. We need to understand that. If this isn't going to be a transfer, is it a transfer of what's existing now? And are we,
It would be,
and
the current franchise agreement that
Clark,
exists.
how are we using the franchise agreement now? What kind of public facilities do we have?
We have none. And right now, the rack is over in Esopus. And the franchise agreement was, the last I know, it was 2008. So it is 8. So it is coming up.
The wire was condemned basically, this is wondering.
So do we even have an active franchise agreement or not?
Yes.
We do.
We have to.
I want to see that agreement. Do you? I'd like to see
Yeah,
it.
it's
Understand it.
It's on file someplace. Well, I don't know when they last negotiated a new